There is a small corner in the world, tucked away from the rush of everyday life, where magic still lingers. And in this hidden place, there's a girl. She is not like everyone else. No, she is different. She has a quiet strength about her, a softness, a grace. But what makes her truly special is her gift. She does not sell ordinary things. She does not sell trinkets or baubles. No, this girl sells sunlight. Yes, you heard that right. Sunlight. To ward off the gloom, to brighten the darkest of nights. She stands in the old market square, her small wooden stall offering jars of light to anyone who passes by. The world has forgotten what light can do. People are too caught up in their own darkness to remember that sometimes all you need is a little brightness to find your way. But she knows. She knows the power of light. She knows how it can transform even the heaviest of hearts. And if you look closely, if you take the time to really see her, you will notice something even more magical. Her eyes. They aren't ordinary eyes, no. They hold a warm, golden glow of amber, as if she herself has captured the sun inside them. And her hair, it dances like flames, burning with a quiet intensity, like she's holding on to a secret that only she understands. She doesn't mind that people rush past her, too busy to notice the jars of sunlight lined up neatly on her stall. She waits patiently for the ones who do stop, the ones who know that light is not just something you see, it's something you feel, it's something that touches you, changes you, and if only you let it in. The sun, they say, trust her with its rays. Every morning just before dawn, she wanders barefoot through the meadows, her hands outstretched to the sky. The light comes to her slowly, delicately, like a shy creature approaching someone it knows will do no harm. She catches it in her palms, holding it as though it's something fragile. Then she whispers softly, words no one but the sun can hear, and the light settles into jars she's brought with her, waiting to be taken. And these jars, they aren't like the ones you see lining the shelves of the bustling market. Each one is simple yet beautiful in its own way. Glass slightly worn from years of being handled with care. They gleam softly, holding a glow that's not too bright, not too harsh. It's a warm light, the kind that makes you think of home, of comfort, of long-forgotten memories. People don't find her by chance. No, they find her when they need her most. When the world has become too dark, when their hearts have grown too heavy with the weight of sadness and sorrow. They come, unsure, hesitant. Sometimes they don't even know why they have come, only that they are drawn to the warmth she offers. She stands there, waiting, never pushing, never calling out. She does not need to. One day a woman appeared before her stand. Her eyes were weary, the kind of tired that doesn't come from lack of sleep, but from carrying the weight of the world on the shoulders for too long. She approached slowly, her steps faltering. The girl watched her, her amber eyes soft, understanding. The woman didn't say anything at first. She just stood there, looking at the jars of sunlight as if unsure what to ask for. I don't know if this will help, the woman finally whispered. I don't know how to keep going. The girl smiled, not with her lips, but with her eyes. She reached out and handed the woman a jar. This light, she said softly, isn't for fixing things. It won't take away the heart, but it will guide you, one step at a time, through the dark. The woman looked at the jar, cradling it in her hands like it was something precious. How long will it last? As long as you need it to, the girl replied, her voice barely above a whisper. The light isn't in the jar, it's in you. This will only help you find it. And so the woman took the jar, clutching it close to her chest, as if it held all the hope she had left. As she walked away, her steps were still heavy, but there was a flicker of something in her eyes, a glimmer of light, faint but growing. The girl watched her go, her own heart heavy with a familiar ache. It wasn't the first time she had seen someone come to her like this, and it wouldn't be the last. She gave them her light, piece by piece, jar by jar. She knew she had to, because that's who she was. But there was something she hadn't yet realized. Each time she gave away a jar, she lost a bit of her own light. The days passed, and the girl continued her quiet work. People came, as they always did. Lost souls, broken hearts. Those who had wandered too far into the shadows and forgotten what it felt like to stand in the sun. And each time the girl gave them a piece of her light, smiling softly as they left, hoping it would be enough. But one evening, As the sun dipped low in the sky, casting long shadows across the ground, the girl sat by her stand, feeling a strange emptiness inside her. She looked down at the jars she still had left, and for the first time she noticed something. They weren't as bright as they used to be. The light inside them flickered, dimming ever so slightly. Her heart ached with the realization she had given so much of herself, so much of her light, that there was hardly any left for her. She had spent years helping others find their way through the dark. But now, standing in the twilight, she felt lost. She had no light of her own to guide her back. It was then that a young man approached her. He didn't look like the others. He wasn't weary or lost or broken. Instead, his eyes were sharp, his steps sure. He stood before her, his gaze steady. "You have been given your light away," he said, his voice quiet but firm. The girl looked up at him, startled. No one had ever noticed before. "You can't keep giving away pieces of yourself like this," he continued. "You will lose yourself in the process." She opened her mouth to respond, but no words came out. She had never thought of it that way. She had always believed that helping others, giving them her light, was her purpose. But now, standing there, she realized he was right. She had lost herself in the process. "But how can I stop?" she whispered. "If I don't give them my light, who will?" The man smiled softly, his eyes filled with understanding. "You can still help them," he said, "but you need to keep some of that light for yourself. You deserve it too." The girl looked down at the jars in front of her, the light flickering inside them. She had always thought her purpose was to give everything she had, to be the beacon for others. But now she realized that in order to keep shining, she needed to protect her own flame. And so for the first time, the girl kept a jar for herself. She held it close, feeling its warmth seep into her skin, into her bones. It wasn't selfish, it was necessary. And as the light grew stronger inside her, she realized something beautiful. She didn't have to choose between helping others and saving herself. She could do both. The next day she returned to her stand. The sun rose, as it always did, and she caught its light in her hands, whispering to it softly. The jars glowed just as they had before, but now there was something different. She was different. She was no longer just giving her light away. She was sharing it, and in that balance she found her strength again.